Hey, how you doing? My name is Ryan, and today I'm reviewing some custom and knockoff minifigures inspired by Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, this is a video that a lot of you guys requested, and I do appreciate the feedback, so if you have any other knockoffs you want me to look at, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, we have quite a few multiversal minifigs to look at today, so let's get right to it with our first minifigure, Doctor Strange. I think at this point, custom figure designers have a really strong grasp on how to make a good Doctor Strange figure. The print on the torso, legs, and arms look phenomenal. The continuity between those prints is also really great. The face looks very close to a real Doctor Strange figure. The alternate face with the battle damage looks pretty good, but one of the few things that knockoff and custom figure designers really can't get right is the Cloak of Levitation. While this looks really phenomenal, especially the front piece with the Eye of Agamotto attached to the cape itself, the hardened plastic just doesn't work as well as the soft rubber that LEGO is using in the official figures. For some reason, I think that no custom designers have tried to make that rubber piece. Maybe it's just harder to make or more expensive to make. But the print work on the cloak is pretty nice, especially the blue patch in the back. But with the Marvel knockoffs and custom figures, you know why I buy them. It's for the custom accessories, and we get a beautiful new portal piece with this Doctor Strange figure that just looks phenomenal and is almost the exact same size as the figure for the center hole. The whole presentation looks incredible, and this is the kind of thing I would literally put on my minifigure board as sort of a display element. It looks that good. If anybody's looking to make a stop motion sequence or even just a display of the portal scene in Endgame, you're gonna need a lot of these, and these are totally worth it. They're about $1 a piece, and not sponsored, by the way, just a really big fan of this piece from the get-go. It looks so good. There's yellow and orange and red in it. Amazing. And it's only one of the two custom pieces we get with this figure, the other being a translucent orange magic buzzsaw, which is one of the spells he uses against Gargantos in the New York City battle. This kind of reminds me of the Infinity War set from 2018 with those giant spitting blades. Wow, that was 4 years ago when I used to film at my kitchen table. Times have changed, and this piece does look pretty good, although it might be a bit hard to display. Overall, I think this Doctor Strange figure looks pretty darn good, even if the cape isn't as up to snuff as the official LEGO version. But how about a second Doctor Strange figure? This is a similar variant to the real one. I'll do my best to name which variant each Doctor Strange is in this video. So this figure looks more like an Infinity War Doctor Strange, with the Time Stone still activated in his Eye of Agamotto, and the extra arm sticking out of the back, kind of like that spell he does against Thanos. This spell is not performed in Multiverse of Madness by this version of Doctor Strange, so I think this is an Infinity War version, which still looks really darn good in my opinion. The torso looks great with some amazing line work on it, the boot print looks phenomenal, and not to mention the gimmick of all these extra arms. I'm not sure if this double arm mold is custom or not, but it's used beautifully here. This figure also includes a portal piece, hooray, and two magic satellite dish pieces in translucent orange. Surprisingly enough, I think LEGO is kind of abandoning these spell pieces, as the new Sanctum Sanctorum set includes these translucent orange dishes, but without print work on them. So kind of a bummer to see them take a step backwards, but thankfully, these pieces are still going strong with custom figures and knockoffs, and I think they look great. These two Doctor Strange figures are a great start, and I love the subtle design differences between the two of them, whether it be the slight costume changes or the Cloak of Levitation. Let's see how our next figure stacks up. It's the Scarlet Witch. This is pulling from her design in Multiverse of Madness and includes a great torso print, probably on par, if not a little bit better than the official Scarlet Witch figure, some great leg printing, and a beautiful skirt piece that is not cloth but plastic. This, I think, is a great addition, and in my mind, better than the cloth capes we usually get. While I think I prefer the rubber and cloth for the cloaks and capes, I think plastic skirts is the way to go here. And while the head and hairpiece look identical to the official Wanda figure, which is kind of a bummer because the paint job on that I think is a little bit shoddy, this figure does include a version of the Darkhold, which is something that I've really wanted to see in the CMF series. This is a great touch, and I think a wonderful addition to the Scarlet Witch figure. I'd consider this Wanda figure kind of in between WandaVision and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness because she's not fully corrupted yet, but how about a truly evil Scarlet Witch? This figure has a darker and more deteriorated print work on the torso and legs, and it's a little bit hard to read because of how black it is, unfortunately. A lot of the detail is lost because of how muddy the print is. And unfortunately, this figure has a misprint on it, which is a darn shame. There's a black dot in the middle of Wanda's face, which really distracts from the quality of the print. The tiara piece also just kind of snaps into place in the hair, which I'm not sure if I prefer this to the custom molded piece, but I like the design work on the tiara quite a bit. We also get a second Darkhold with an entirely different design, with printing on the front, back, and the inside page. If I'm comparing the two, I think I like the black one a bit more because of how involved the printing is, but the brown one is quite nice too. In comparing these two Scarlet Witches, I think the first one is a little bit better and closer to LEGO's aesthetic and print quality. But how about a character we've never seen in LEGO before? How about Christine Palmer? There's some great print work on this character, especially in the arms with these kind of ruffles built into the sleeves. It gives them quite a bit of dimension. The leg printing looks nice, the torso has a really good design. The face is where it kind of loses me, as I feel like the entire face print is spread apart and spread out, and it gives it kind of a fake look to it. Although I do quite like the colored hairpiece here. It's not a bad figure per se, just not the greatest. But how about Wong? I gotta say, out of all the knockoff Wongs I've seen, I think this is the closest to getting his face really correct. The torso print work here is really elaborate, even if some of the lines aren't that visible due to their red printing on purple. But the color palette is quite nice, and I love the new magic pieces, which aren't just satellite dishes, but they're entirely smoothed out to look really close to the actual Doctor Strange spells. A really great figure overall if you ask me, but how about a second Wong? This figure skews a little bit closer to the official LEGO Wong that we've seen, although the face print does feel a little bit low and the hairpiece makes the head feel kind of scrunched. We do, however, get another portal piece, hooray, and some custom swords / knives that Wong wields. The design work on the torso pulls from the exact same inspiration as the other knockoff, although I think the other one does a bit better with taking that design and putting it onto a minifigure. This one feels a little bit shinier, and even though there are less elements on it, I think they're handled a little bit poorly. In the Battle of the Wongs, I do think the official figures do have the edge, unlike Doctor Strange figures, where they're kind of neck and neck, but the custom designers are catching up, and that's a great thing to see. But how about Baron Mordo? I'm not sure if or when Mordo ever wielded a crossbow, but I do quite like this custom crossbow and arrow mold. Really great things here. The face print is a little bit simplistic for a custom. I'm kind of surprised by that, because the torso is very detailed and very clean of a design. Compared to the upcoming Mordo in the Sanctum Sanctorum set, this one takes the cake, even with a simpler face print. But how about a second Mordo? Catching the pattern here? Multiversal variants of different characters, multiple versions of different figures in this series. You get it, right? This figure has a much simpler design, but it honestly looks closer to LEGO's aesthetic and how much line work and how much detail is in the torso and legs. But we do get one of these cloth jackets, which, if you remember from the previous videos, I'm not the biggest fan of. I think they're kind of not worth the hassle, to be honest. The face print on this figure looks a little bit off for a couple of reasons. One, the entire design is lower on the face. Second, I think the coloring is not accurate to Mordo. It's a bit too light-skinned for the character and closer to Wong's skin color than Baron Mordo's skin color. We do get another portal piece, which is worth the price of admission, but as for the figure itself, I think it's the first bad custom we've gotten in this batch, which is a darn shame. We were on a pretty good streak there. How about our next figure, America Chavez? This figure is kind of an amped up version of the official LEGO figure, with some good changes and some bad ones if you ask me. The torso design on the front and back look phenomenal, the leg printing is very nice, the face print is pretty solid and accurate to LEGO's design, but the one change I don't like on this figure is the use of the larger legs. The official America Chavez uses the mid-sized legs to emphasize that she's still a kid, but this one has the adult legs, which maybe has more room for printing, but I think is the wrong move here. So let's hope that our second America Chavez figure can finally beat the official one. Unfortunately, it can't. I think while the design work on the torso looks more realistic, it also strays very far from LEGO's official design aesthetic and becomes a bit too dark with the amount of line work and shadow work on it. This figure also has the long legs, with good printing on it, but long legs nonetheless, and even the back print on this figure doesn't really read jacket as much as the other one. I will say though that both of these custom figures have better hair than the official America Chavez. I'm not sure why they gave the official figure this swept to the side when it should be even almost like a bob cut. these two get that right, the official does not. I think this is one of those times where a combination of elements, official and custom, is the best bet here. But how about a figure a bit more sinister? How about Sinister Strange? While the main face print doesn't look all that good in my opinion, the alternate with the third eye looks incredible. However, from an overall design aesthetic, I'm not sure which Strange this is trying to be. It's not really the Sinister Strange from Multiverse of Madness because his magic is red in this figure, and we also get another 4-arm added spell here, but we do get the third eye. So it's kind of a weird amalgamation of various Stranges. Here's hoping the second Sinister Strange figure is a bit better. This version of Sinister Strange is much closer to the film design than the previous one, with the right color purple magic, a really great evil smirk design, even if the face print's kind of squished. The alternate face with the third eye though looks incredible and right out of one of those high quality custom sites like Firestar Toys. We also get brand new magic pieces which don't use the satellite dish, they use the Captain America shield pieces, only in purple with this new design on it. And while the spells look a little bit big for my liking, they do look quite nice. I also think the kind of dark green design of the torso is a better choice than black here, and the overall aesthetic is something that I don't think LEGO really captured in their official upcoming figure in the Sanctum Sanctorum set. So once again, customs and knockoffs just have the ability to do more than the official figures do, which is really great for us and kind of pushes LEGO to be better, which is a good thing if you ask me. And speaking of pushing the boundaries, how about this Wanda with the oil/blood on her face as she attacks the Illuminati headquarters? I think the splatter work kind of takes over this design, not only covering most of the face design and making it kind of small overall, but because it's a dark red and not either red or black, it kind of just reads as dirty and muddy. And while I do appreciate the attempt to give her bare feet with the peach printing on the dark blue, it comes off as kind of white and more of shoes than feet. The best part of this figure by far is the Ultron bot head, which looks phenomenal. A good idea for the figure, but not the best execution overall if you ask me. But how about Defender Strange? How does he stack up? Aside from some really weird line work on the torso and legs overall, with kind of the accented and highlighted white lines over the red, which makes the figure look oddly bright and hiding a lot of the detail overall, this figure has some really great elements to it. The face print looks phenomenal. The hairpiece I think is incredible. This tiny ponytail with the added white streaks the other Stephen Strange figure has. And we get two different color magic pieces, one translucent orange and one clear, which is very accurate to the character in the movie. Although looking at the figure as a whole, I do think the hairpiece should have been black and not dark brown. Every other Stephen Strange has black hair, so why does this one have brown hair? I don't know. I think the design work is there, but much like Spider-Man's webbing, you really have to be careful with how many white and silver lines you add to a figure. So let's hope this second Defender Strange is a little bit better than the first one. The immediate answer is yes. This torso design looks really clean with the use of gold lines as opposed to white lines to add those accents. We get two more custom magic pieces in clear, and we also get the ponytail in black, not brown. The only thing a little bit off-putting with this figure is the face, which could be the new hair design with the small beard and little mustache as opposed to the full goatee. I think that's more accurate to the actual Defender Strange in the movie, but it looks odd in LEGO here. But overall, I think this figure is vastly better than the first knockoff. Now, as we know, Defender Strange becomes Zombie Strange. This figure has an incredible aesthetic. The face print, though a little bit more detailed than we usually get, I think looks phenomenal. And while the added arms are a little bit skimpy if you ask me, I think they're trying to go for like dead arms so they're smaller and more disheveled, but not sure if it looks that great. We do get a floaty ghost stand in dark gray that really reads like evil magic. We also get a Doctor Strange cape in that same kind of dark gray, but it's impossible to have both the arms and the cape on at the same time. I think the arms look better than the cape, but just a weird thing to note here. Overall, this zombie Stephen Strange looks really good, but how about the other zombie figure? Which one will be better? Honestly, I think the first Zombie Strange was a little bit better than this one. The face on this one doesn't even read like Doctor Strange. The eyes are really bulging and the red on it doesn't really work for me. I think the black looks better on the first figure. While I do like the added arms here, I think the overall aesthetic on the torso and legs just doesn't look that great to me. It reads a bit too shiny and bright and not dark and disheveled. I think overall, the official upcoming zombie Stephen Strange has the best torso design, but the first custom has the best face. Up next, how about a character I know very little about, but I'm excited to see more of her, Clea. Unfortunately, the print work on the torso is really dark and very hard to see all the detail lines, and it's even harder to see on the legs. Trying to print purple on black is a really tough thing to do, especially without highlights to bring out those colors. I do quite like the use of this Inquisitor-style lightsaber hilt as the base for her sword, and the hair looks quite good overall. I'd put it on the same level as Christine, where it's not yet bad, but it's also not that great. Now, how about some figures from the Illuminati, which I'll build in the same order as they're introduced. We already saw Baron Karl Mordo, so how about Captain Carter? Now, we already got a really good Captain Carter figure in the CMF series, although that was the What If variation, not the Multiverse of Madness one. They have different hairstyles. It's a small detail, but it makes a big difference. The hair on this custom figure is perfect if you ask me. The print work is very clean. I do like the brown boots on black. They are pretty readable, but a little bit dark if you ask me. Comparing the official Captain Carter with this one, I think the official is definitely better in the torso and leg print, especially those boots. So if you just swap the hair out from this custom to the official, I think you get a really good Multiverse of Madness Captain Carter. Although I do wish we got her jetpack with this figure. That would have been a great touch. Up next is Blackagar Boltagar, Keeper of the Terrigen Mist, the Inhuman King. This figure does the very difficult job of printing a peach face on an entirely black head, and it does it very, very well if you ask me. The design work on this torso is fantastic. I love the helmet mold. This is a really phenomenal looking figure. The only downside to this one, I think, is the alternate face, or alternate head in this case, as I'm not sure it fully reads, "Oh god, my mouth is gone, help, I'm going to blow up." Black Bolt as a figure, I think, belongs in my knockoff Hall of Fame. It looks phenomenal. All the white lines really pop in the torso, and I love the print on the helmet as well. So our next figure is Captain Marvel, Defender of the Cosmos. Unfortunately, Captain Marvel is missing the same level of contrast that's found in the Black Bolt figure, mostly because they try to use gray as the accent color as opposed to white. In fact, there's not a speck of white on this figure at all. I think it really would have benefited from it. The alternate face is kind of hard to read with the silver on top of the brown, so I think the main face is the one you want on display here. The hair, though, does kind of compress the head overall and make it look kind of flat-topped. Not really a great figure in my opinion, so here's hoping the next one can redeem this Illuminati, the smartest man alive, Reed Richards. This figure comes with two different arm variants, two short arms and two longer arms like the Woody style, to give Mr. Fantastic his stretchy appearance. The torso, leg, and arm prints are fantastic on this figure. I love the look of this Fantastic Four suit. Although I gotta say, the face looks very little like John Krasinski, or Mr. Fantastic for that matter. I think adding some brown and gray to this black beard would have really helped add some contrast, and I'm not sure the black hair is the right choice. So I might have to look through my collection of pieces to find a better face for this Mr. Fantastic, but I think the figure looks pretty darn good overall. But how about our next one, Professor Xavier? Given my experience with the Vulture and Green Goblin gliders, I actually made sure to download the instructions for how to build the hover chair. Because I really want to build this right, I think it's going to look really, really good. So this hover chair is big, unwieldy, kind of flimsy, but it looks fantastic if you ask me. As does the Professor X figure. The green suit looks very nice, the white cuffs on the sleeves look good. The only thing that's off is the face. The mouth is a little bit low on the head to give him kind of a weird expression, but the alternate face of him concentrating looks pretty darn good. Thankfully, I have a replacement head from an older custom Professor X figure that was mimicking the look in the LEGO Marvel video game, and this head, I think, looks really good. Even though the eyebrows are a bit darker, this is pretty close to what I think Professor X should look like in LEGO form. And that leaves just one more member of the Illuminati left, Strange Supreme. So I'll admit, it took me about 5 minutes to add this cape piece to the figure, but once I did, it looks really, really good, as does the figure as a whole. The silver elements on this light blue print I think look quite nice. The brown belt, gloves, wrist guards, and boots are a great contrast. Strange Supreme also comes with a blue portal this time, which actually has a different design from the orange ones. This one is a bit smaller and thicker and doesn't really fit a figure inside of it, so that's kind of a darn shame. With the face, it's weird. When you shave the goatee off of the Doctor Strange figures, it looks very little like Benedict Cumberbatch, the actor. And the mouth is also a little bit low on the head for it to really read right. The brown hair looks pretty good, but I might replace this with the black hair from Mr. Fantastic. And with that, we have all the members of the Illuminati, and I think if LEGO made a kind of larger Brooktober series, this would be a great collection to have. But we still have one more figure left to review, and of course, it's Doctor Strange. This is kind of an odd amalgamation Doctor Strange figure, in that it has the torso design of Multiverse of Madness. It has the 4 arms of Infinity War, yet it also has the Book of Ashanti from Multiverse of Madness. So truthfully, I'm not sure what to make of this figure. It looks good from a design standpoint. The torso is very clean with some great line work on it. The cape, while hard plastic, does have a good shape to it. The face is a little bit long and doesn't really look that great if you ask me. But the magic pieces do look nice, and the Book of Ashanti, or Darkhold, I'm not really sure which one it is. I think it's the Book of Ashanti. Either way, the accessories do look very nice. And with that, we have our collection of multiversal minifigures from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'd love to know which figures are your favorite and which ones you think are better than their official LEGO counterpart. And again, let me know in the comment section down below which knockoffs and customs you want to see me review next. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.